How's everybody doing? Recorded this video just to sort of go over the assignment for digital Maoism. Now, digital Maoism is a article, and the link is going to be in the discussion board. And you can see here it's on a site called edge.org. Now, I've used this for a couple of years. Well, actually, a really fair amount of time. I think it was written in 2006, and the writer's name is Jaron Lanier. And if you look him up on the internet, he's pretty like wide range in terms of what he does. I think he's a musician, but he's also a writer. Now, the reason I've used this is that I feel like the subject matter is incredibly sort of relevant after almost going on 20 years now. In addition, I think it's a piece that, although it's not a academic piece necessarily, it is in the form of an essay that would be maybe thematically or as a subject matter you could potentially write about for multiple classes. So what I want you to do is to click on the link, read over, and I have that in sort of like air quotes, read over the essay as much as you can. Now I will say this, it is in my opinion, I don't want to like make anybody like not read this or or object to it before they have read it. I think it's good in terms of a subject matter, but it's not good in terms of its organization. And I want you to look at it almost as if you got this as a rough draft in class. Okay. Now, I would say what he is talking about is sort of the anonymous nature of the internet and how that creates almost this level of like lack of fact checking on the internet, but he's also writing it from a perspective where he's doing a little bit of a self analysis of his own image on the internet. So, although the article is going on 20 years now, I think it's pretty relevant in terms of the content, but also what I want you to do is sort of stylistically look at it as if it was a rough draft or somebody's draft you got in class. Okay. And you want to just create a single paragraph. Keep this simple. It's going to be for points of discussion. Discuss the organization style presentation of the ideas in digital Maoism. Was his writing style effective? You can address the amount of ideas Mr. Lanier dealt with, his use of quotes, examples, the types of audience he's speaking to, and how this could create a certain style. Okay, now I also have like assignments where you have to create the thesis statement for it, but the main idea is that you're trying to look at the essay as if it was a rough draft that you get in class. And to be fair to him as a writer, that's not the assignment. Okay. So you click on the link, it's going to take you to this page, and the page will look like this. It's called the edge.org. And there it is. It's longer. So, do your best to sort of get through it, read it, and then you just want to answer that paragraph I just had on the last slide. Just give me a brief paragraph that describes it, and it doesn't need to be an APA MLA format. Just you're trying to have a discussion about it. It's almost brainstorming about it, and that is the way that the website will look. So you click on the link, it'll take it to you, or you can go to Google and just search digital Maoism, and then elements of the writing process. So what we'll do is we'll talk about this in class, or I record these videos for a couple classes. If we're going to have a discussion board post, sort of think about it thematically, the way the essay is written, and think about the thesis. I would say that the digital Maoism, which is a great title, by the way, it's a great title, which is important in writing. I would say it lacks a thesis statement. Now, there's certain assignments I've had where you had to write a thesis statement. I do think he's arguing that the internet is this sort of anonymous, sort of dangerous, but also exciting place. Okay. And you got to figure 2006, the internet was starting to like evolve in a certain type of space. It was before it was heavily as like corporate as it is now. And then talk about his organization. Now you can look at also how he has his thoughts together. Does he have enough information in certain paragraphs? Once again, to be fair to him, it's not an academic piece, but think about who his audience is. Like, I feel like he's writing an audience to people that like, or I shouldn't say, like his audience is one that I think would be rather savvy with the internet, especially at the time. And then look at the style. You can look at his grammar. So this is all sort of related. Um, you know, his diction, his style, his overall flow. God, for a moment there, I'm having a thought that diction spelled incorrectly, so I just made this, so I apologize for this. But anyway, I'm not the best speller. So the grammar, diction, what is his style? How does it flow together? Um, the different types of paragraphs that he uses. That's going to be a big discussion in a lot of my classes with the videos. The types of paragraphs he uses, the overall flow. A lot of people will say it's very disorganized. Although I did have a student once who said, you know what, Professor Reed, like he's basically mimicking the way the internet works and sort of the hyperlink nature of things, which I think is a really good point. What is his tonal quality? I feel like he's a little bit, God, I shouldn't be giving so much information because I want this to be like your own thing, but I feel like he's almost self-important, a little bit delusional. I don't know that like I'd want to hang out with him, on a Friday night, that sort of thing. And then what could you do in terms of adding a little bit of source material in there as well? Like, is there parts where you could sort of think or imagine that he should add some source material in there as well? So think about that as well. So A, click on the link, do your best to sort of quote unquote read over the assignment, then sort of skim through it, and then just create a paragraph and imagine as if you got this as a rough draft in class. What's some of the good, what's some of the bad of it, and think about these elements here as like your points of analysis. Any questions, email me. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon.